Hey everybody, how's it going today? It's Dr. Nate Porcher from Foundation Sport and Spine in Arlington Heights, Illinois. Uh, just wanted to show you guys a couple more things about the importance of spinal stability and this muscle known as the psoas, which has kind of been a popular topic of discussion among body workers in the last several years. The psoas muscle is probably one of the most powerful muscles in your body and one of the most important muscles in your body. It's one of the muscles that we would consider part of your intrinsic core and is essential for not only your movement, which is driven or which drives hip flexion. That's kind of its main function, at least in textbooks, is it's a hip flexor. It's also a very important lumbar spine stabilizer as well. So let me just kind of show you on this model here. As you can kind of see where the red squares are, this is actually the attachment of the psoas muscle onto the spine. So this is the actual lumbar, this is the before you even get to the first lumbar spine vertebrae, you actually have it attaching all the way up to T12, the last thoracic spine vertebrae, and so it creates this this stability through the spine. And because it's so close to the spine, it actually will go from here into the spine. They go down through the pelvis. Then it actually, from this angle, it bends back over this little ridge, bends back and attaches inside the hip on this little blue thing here, which we call the lesser trochanter. What's really cool about the psoas muscle is that as it changes direction here and goes backwards, two different things happen. So when you go to flex your hip and go this way, this bottom part of the psoas muscle actually, where it's actually down there, it's attached to another muscle called the iliacus, so it becomes the iliopsoas down below this little pectineal ridge, is that bony process there. But when it bends back and as the hip comes up here, this lower part of the muscle will shorten. But as that happens, you'll also have the upper part of the muscle lengthening simultaneously. That's so that when somebody brings their hip up like this, the spine actually is allowed to relax up here. So this will lengthen up here when this shortens down here. Same thing as when you extend your hip and go backwards like this. When that hip is extending, this part is lengthening and this part shortens, and so you get, as a result, the lumbar spine actually arching as my back is arching here. So the overall length of the muscle never actually changes. It just has one part shortening or lengthening. So in the clinic here, when people come in with any problem with their low back or hip or anything like that, it's important that when we test the psoas muscle that it's firing very strongly as a 5 out of 5 muscle contraction, or what we like to call strong in the clear. So I'm going to show you a demonstration of a patient I have here. This is Philip. You guys have seen Philip in a lot of the videos here, who's interning with me from National University of Health Sciences in his last semester of chiro school. He's going to just be a good example here. He has bilateral weak psoas muscles right now, which resulted from some heavy working out he did yesterday. He's got some achy low back pain, is that right?
Yep.
As a result today. So I'm just going to show you some tests and then some corrections that we do using P-DTR, clearing some things called impact paleos, and I'm going to show you one other thing as well to get both of his psoas muscles fixed right away. So here we go. Set this aside here. So this right one, we're going to test it, hold to the ceiling here, and you can see that that's weak in the clear. I'm just going to tip the screen real quick. So that's a weak one. I have another one here, hold. And this one is also weak, right? And he's trying, but he's just not able to hold it up. It's because there's essentially a disconnect, in a sense, between the muscle and the brain. And that's because he has input from these different areas of his body. I've already identified it before I did the video. It actually has pain receptors all in this hip called impact paleospinothalamic receptors. And because of the impact in the hip, which happens just by him stabilizing the hip to contract the psoas muscle, some of those little intrinsic stabilizers of the hip, as soon as the hip gets kind of compressed like this, he's kind of sending all this information to the brain, and the brain is not going to let that psoas muscle fire. On this side, it actually has to do just with a joint fixation, which we're going to fix with a traditional chiropractic adjustment. So I could do that here. A lot of you have already seen that, so I'm going to show you how to fix or how I would fix the impact thing using P-DTR. It's a fast correction, it's a really powerful correction, and it's really cool. So I've already got some of these things mapped out here. So let's go ahead here, just test that. impact his hip and he goes weak. So I know that there's a problem in there. All right. You know what you're doing here? Just go ahead and towards. So we're going to hit a reflex to treat, which is the treatment with most P-DTR. Let's go back and just test that again. Hold. Nice and strong. We got one right here. So by compressing his joint manually as I'm doing, I'm actually getting those pain receptors, which are already firing too much. They're high tone receptor, and so they're firing to his brain and causing that muscle to shut down. So go ahead and just go ahead and think about the. Just make sure we got it cleared. There we go. And there's one more here. Just looking right towards that. Good. Just make sure we got it cleared. And there we go. So I cleared 3 different impact paleo receptors that were dysfunctional in his hip, and as a result, we get a nice strong psoas muscle. Hopefully, yeah, much better. And so now he can hold that that psoas muscle effortlessly when he does that. So when he gets up and he moves, he's going to feel a lot different. Like I said with the other one, there's just a simple joint fixation in his SI joint. We go ahead and adjust that, and it will clear that as well. So pretty cool how a combination of not only chiropractic medicine, but then this awesome technique that we're doing here in the office called P-DTR will actually clear some of the software things and not just the hardware things to get the body working exactly the way it should. Again, I'm Dr. Nate Porcher at Foundation Sport and Spine here in Arlington Heights. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can do so by visiting our website, www.foundationsportspine.com, and click on the Book Online button to book yourself an appointment. We'd love to see you here. You can also give the office a call at 847-342-3000. Thank you so much. Have a great day.